Hey, welcome to the Northwest Georgia football uh, 7, 5A, 6A, 7A prediction show, man. This is our first of five prediction shows we're going to do over the next several months. Got Ben Burge in the house, Paul Cavan's here. We're going to break down that highly contested 7, 5A later in the show. But first, we'll get to 7A, guys.
Yeah, start out with the big boys out on top, and now I don't know about you, but I'm looking at the favorite as a team that made it to the championship game last year and has a really good shot to do it again this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Carrollton
agree with that.
Trojans, you know. Yeah,
Absolutely.
I think Carrollton wins that region, but I know they got a couple of tough games on the schedule. A couple of games that'll be within 10, 7 points. Westlake is one of the games that just jumps right off the schedule.
Yeah, I think. I mean, yeah, they will have some tough games, but I think Carrollton carries that region, and obviously the coach and everybody will say one game at a time, but they're looking towards what kind of playoff matchups they may end up getting. So,
Yeah, yeah,
that's what I'm looking towards.
I feel the same way. I think Carrollton's is they're going to roll, in my opinion, through the regular season, and they're going to make a deep run of the playoffs, and I think they may have as good a shot as anybody to win that state championship. Everybody knows the big names, the Juju and Odom, but I think they've got some younger guys that people in and around Carrollton may know about, and maybe a few guys like us who follow it know about. But I think they've got some young guys who a lot of people in the North and West Georgia area are going to find out about this fall too.
Yeah, I haven't actually looked at the playoff matchups yet in 7A, but I think Carrollton is in Region 4, so they'll play Region 1 in the first round. I know there's some dogs down there in Region 1.
I think Carrollton, if it's right on Max Preps, it says Region 2.
Region 2, so they'll play Region 3 first round.
I'm not sure.
Which is still probably some dogs,
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's 7A.
is loaded from top to bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. And the other team we cover here in Northwest Georgia football from 7A is North Paulding. Another tough region. They're in there with Harrison, Marietta, Hillgrove. I know Cal Preps has North Paulding finishing first in that region.
Yep.
I say it's tough. It's tough.
Yeah, that region's got a lot of solid programs. I believe North Paulding won the region last year. I think their overall record may have been 7-4 at the end of the season. But you got Marietta, Harrison, McEachern, Hillgrove. I mean, that's some pretty stiff competition. I don't care what the records last year were. You can throw that out the window this year. That's going to be a pretty competitive region.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think when you just hear the names, the big schools, Harrison, Marietta, McEachern, heck, they were down last year and still went 4-6. But I think Marietta's a school that could challenge them a little bit. North Paulding obviously had a good year last year, 7-4, losing a few key pieces, bringing back some pieces, and they're going to have some young guys step up too. So I think it's going to be another good year for North Paulding.
Yeah, I mean, if I had to be, if I had to be put on the spot and actually pick a place, I have them second. I don't know behind who, but I like that second spot.
Yeah, I think first or second is a good spot for them, and obviously, they want to build on last year. They finished first. They finished first in the region, but I believe they lost in the first round of the playoffs, if I'm not mistaken. So they're probably going to want to build on that. Maybe try to get a little deeper into the playoffs.
Yeah. All right, we'll move on to our 6A schools. Rome Wolves. They're in what, region 6A?
Yes, sir.
I think Rome, pretty much like Carrollton, has that state championship game circled. I like the Wolves to win that.
There's a region.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I like Rome. I like Rome as a 1 seed there. I think the battle is going to be for the 2 seed, Alatoona.
Yeah, I agree, Lawrence. I think Rome's they're gonna take care of business in that region, similar to how they did last year, and they probably got that state championship game circled. They probably won't tell you that right now, but in the back of their minds, that's their end goal. That's where they want to go. And Fountain's coming back at quarterback. I believe this will be his senior year. They got some big boys on defense. What's the big D lineman? Is it Terrell or Terrell?
Terrell.
Yep, Terrell. And then I think they're going to have a breakout star at wide receiver this year in the Hester kid as well. A lot of people are going to learn his name in the Northwest Georgia area.
Yeah, and they got a, not to mention or to go on top. Which will come to town, which will be a huge test, kind of a litmus test to see where they are. Because we pretty much know where Carrollton's sitting at this point. So,
yeah. Some big games. There's some big games early on in our area. First 2 or 3 weeks of the season, some really big football games.
Yeah, I got to look at the playoff schedule for Region 6A there. They match up with Region 7 6A in the first round. Very important here to get the 1 seed, because if not, you're looking at Alpharetta, Roswell, and Blessed Trinity as the 1, 2, and 3 on the other side.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so, as it stands right now, predicted the 2 seed is going to host Blessed Trinity first round. That's not a first round game you want.
No.
All right, and then our other 6A region, talk about some heavyweights at the top. Langston Hughes region is what you can call this one.
Yeah.
No disrespect to any of the Paulding County schools.
No, not at all. Yeah, I think that Langston Hughes definitely has a state championship circled.
Absolutely.
Talk about you talk about huge games to start the season. How about that one? Langston Hughes at Carrollton, week 1.
Yeah. Wow.
Week 1. We're just gonna fire it off. Right off the bat, man. That's gonna be I guarantee you that I'll be watching that one probably that night, at least on replay.
Yeah, as far as the top 4 finish here, I like Langston Hughes, of course, number 1. 2, 3, 4 is kind of a toss up here. I don't know a whole lot about these teams outside Paulding County, but I like Douglas County at 2, South Paulding at 3, and I'm gonna go Alexander at 4. I know East Paulding County will compete for the 4 spot, but I have to pencil in Alexander at 4.
Man, there's so many teams, and you don't know. I don't know exactly what's returning for all these teams. All I know is that Langston Hughes is going to have enough to finish in the first spot for sure. I'm looking at last year's, South Paulding looks like ended up second best record. I think they lost a good bit. Douglas and Paulding County were about the same record. I think those teams will still be near the playoff race, though. East Paulding and Alexander went 3-7 last year, and they're not slouches by any means. They're good teams. Yep. So it just speaks to the competition in this region.
Yeah, I agree. Hughes is going to be number 1. Everybody else is going to be fighting for the rest. But I do believe that a couple of those Paulding County schools are going to return enough kids and solid enough programs that I think Paulding County is going to get 2 in the playoffs. It's just a matter of which 2. South Paulding, I would think, is going to probably sneak in, and then I think they get 1 more in as well.
All right, man. Let's move on to the highly contested 7-5A. I know a lot of people are looking forward to this one this year. The Cal Preps ratings came out this week. They have 4 teams in the top 13. It's going gonna be a battle. Every week's a playoff week.
Am I right? Yeah. Making sure I was right there. Yeah, this is one of those I think we got all the input from a couple different guys here. This is one of the regions that we know a little more about. I think the running back leaving Dalton last year, it's going to hurt Dalton a little bit. I think Dalton may drop out of the top 4 this year. Calhoun and Carsville, Cass is going to be battling right there. We talked about Cass having Rome early in the year, so that's going to be a huge non-conference test to get them ready for this region or non-region test. Excuse me. I've been talking college football, but yeah, I like this region, and you've got your slides there to our predictions, so I'll just remove the.
Yeah. The one thing I can say about 7-5A is if you're a fan of football, period, and you like to see kids who are going to play at the next level, get out and watch one of these 7-5A games this year, man. Every one of these teams is loaded with guys who are going to be playing on Saturday.
That's true.
Yeah.
From Woodlands, Dalton, Cass, Hiram, Calhoun, Carsville, all with college players.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like every day when I get on Twitter, I see a new guy on one of these teams that's popping up. They're getting an offer from D1 school or from a large D2 school or something. So they're continuing to grow.
Yeah, in my opinion, this is my favorite region in the area. I tend to follow a little closer some of the smaller schools just because of where I live, where I went to school, doing things like that. But in my opinion, this is the most fun and interesting region that we cover. I think it's going to be a battle. Every team in the region has, like you guys said, quality football players, good coaching staffs, guys that are going to play at the next level. And like Lawrence said, if you want to watch competitive football games and watch guys who are going to be playing at the college level, get out and watch a few of these region games this year.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and apologize right from the start. This is not an art show. This is a football show. This is probably the ugliest piece of artwork you've ever seen, but it gets the job done. So we'll start with you got Paul there, Benton, and myself, and we also have the predictions from Jake West, Team FYN Sports Director. He gave us his picks for the year, so we'll start with his.
You get it back up there.
Is it off?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out.
Like I said, this is
There we go.
That'll work. They don't want to look at our face anyway.
Yeah. There we go. Jake, going with the Calhoun Yellow Jackets at number 1. Calhoun Yellow Jackets. Paul, who do you have in the 1 spot?
Man, I tell you what, like I said, this is a competitive region. I think there are going to be 3 or 4 different games in this region that are going to be really critical and could go either way. I am going to go Cartersville, and I think not by much. I think that Cartersville-Calhoun game is going to be awesome to watch, but I'm going to say Cartersville clips them just barely.
Benton? I think I remember what I sent you, and I think I'm on the same page still, but I think I went Calhoun, and there's a couple reasons why. The game is in Calhoun. Calhoun's returning a quarterback that I like. Returning a running back that can get loose and hurt you. Not that Cartersville doesn't have the players, because I think they do. I think it's going to be similar to last year. What was it, like 50-48 or something like that?
50-48 in overtime, I think.
Yeah. I think this is going to be a battle, and I just think returning quarterback and playing at the Reeve, I like Calhoun in this one.
Yeah, and I will make it 3 out of 4. Going with the Calhoun Yellow Jackets. when I start looking at these prediction shows, you know, like you said, I always look at returning quarterback, running back, the skill guys. Um, I think Calhoun's in the best shape, just by a little bit, when it comes to those categories. So yeah, I took Calhoun at number 1. Number 2 spot, we will start with Paul here.
Number 2, obviously going with Calhoun for all the reasons you guys just mentioned. You know, returning quarterback, returning senior running back. Calhoun may have the best tight end room in the country, and again, I think we were talking about this the other night in our group. I mean, this is one of those regions where, you know, it's almost like 1A and 1B instead of 1 and 2. I mean, these games could go either way. So I'm going with Calhoun, number 2 in this region.
Mr. Burge.
Yeah, I think there's no way that I didn't go with Cartersville, even though I don't remember exactly what I picked, just because I think that's going to be the battle for the region. And I would hate to be that region that plays them in the playoffs, because you're going to have to travel to one of those schools, and that's going to be tough.
Yeah, I'm going with the Canes also. I know they're pretty young this year, but from what I hear, I mean, they'll be battling for the 1 spot, possibly state championship. Cartersville is one of those teams that doesn't rebuild; they reload. That game in Calhoun is going to be a fun one.
I don't want to tip it off, but something tells me you waited on Mr. West for a reason.
Yeah, Mr. West has a surprise here.
Uh-oh.
Cass Colonels.
Oh,
all right.
Yeah, this 16 region here. I could easily see Cass finishing 1 or 2. This is like one of those regions where if you told me at the end of the season that Cass and Dalton were 1 and 2, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, everybody plays everybody. All it takes is a loss or 2, and you're out of the playoffs.
Yeah.
All right, Mr. Burge, who do you have at your 3 spot?
Man, I don't remember. It's so close. It's Cass, I guess. It looks like Cass. Man, I know that I would have went with either Cass or probably Hiram. Like I mentioned earlier, I kind of buried the lead on the Dalton. I don't think Dalton's going to have quite enough to make the playoffs. Hopefully, they prove me wrong along with Woodland. But I would take Calhoun, Cartersville, Cass, and Hiram, and believe it or not, that's in alphabetical order.
There you go, man. I'm going with Cass. I'm going with Cass also.
I knew you had a method there, Ben. Yeah, I'm going Hiram. Number 3.
Number 3.
And here's why. And again, when you get on these shows, you talk about these kids in schools and make predictions. You know, sometimes everybody gets a little aggravated that year, uses it for fuel. So this region is super competitive. I don't mean any disrespect to any team. I think all these teams are great quality teams, and I'm going Hiram 3 and Cass 4. And the reason I'm putting Hiram in front of Cass is unbelievably talented. They've got a ton of great kids that are going to perform this season and go on to the next level. Good coaching staff. But I'm going to go Hiram above Cass because of Cass's schedule. Cass has some tough non-region games early on. And then they play Hiram, I believe, 9th game of the year at Hiram. And I just wonder if some of that some of those early non-region games and things might not wire them down and beat them up a little bit. And so I'm going to pick Hiram, number 3.
I got you. Yeah, the last I was looking. I was going back and looking at the last time Cartersville was defeated by Cass. It looks like 2007. So it's been a few weeks, but I like Hiram. They just have too much talent to miss the playoffs. I think it's going to be close between that Hiram, Woodland, Dalton, but I just like Hiram to finish as the 4 seed and give somebody a battle on the road in the playoffs.
Yeah, I've been on that Hiram bandwagon for a couple of years now. They haven't made the playoffs the last 2 years, gotten close both seasons. loaded with talent. It's going to be fun to watch for sure.
Yeah.
All right.
I want to give a shout out real quick. Of the teams we talked about today, I just want to give a shout out to all the players and coaches on these teams and wish them good luck this season. But I'm going to give a special mention to the Team Cavan guys from our draft. So from Carrollton, we had Caleb Odom, Calhoun, Caden Williams, Cass, Kel Ellis, Cartersville, Jamari Bryce, and from Dalton, Bannon Phelan. So all the Team Cavan guys, I just want to give a shout out to them. We talked about their schools today, and just wanted to give them a shout out and wish them some luck this season.
Absolutely.
That's a perfect plug right there.
Perfect plug. And happy Father's Day to all you fathers out there.
Yeah. Happy Father's Day.
Team Birds guys out there as well. I don't have their names written down, but they know if they got the little tweet from me. But I got a little happy Father's Day thing for everybody.
That's cool.
I'm a graphics guy. I like the graphics, so we'll have to work on Lawrence's graphic making skills.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
but anyway,
I was that poor kid in the second grade that couldn't cut a straight line with those scissors, man. I never could figure out how to cut stuff with those scissors.
Hey, but it looks good though. I mean, it looks better than I thought it was going to be when you started poor mouthing it. Anyway, so we still got 4 more divisions to do, right? 1 through 4.
4 more. The next one up is 4
classifications. 4A. Yeah.
Oh. I'll tell you a team we missed right here, though, just right off the top of my head. We missed the Villa Rica Wildcats. I think they're in region, is it 5A that they're in?
Yep, that's right. That's right.
Yes, 5A.
I like Villa Rica. I think they have a lot of young talent. Brand new head coach this year. I think they compete for the 4th spot. But if I had to guess right now, I say they probably come in 5th.
Man, It's a lot of teams. It's a lot of teams. I've actually been to Banneker High School before. I've never seen Banneker play, but we went to the playoffs one year. But I think that I think you're right. I think they're right at that line, right at that playoff line. I'm not sure if they'll be in or out, but I like them to battle in that top half of the region.
Yeah, we were talking about Langston Hughes in the other region in 6A being a powerhouse. Creekside right here, I mean, that's definitely your number 1 team. I've heard that Creekside beat Langston Hughes in the spring game, but, I mean.
Oh, boy. You started something there.
Yeah.
You'll find out if that's true within the rest of the day.
Yeah, I also look for Villa Rica to compete this year. They've got some guys coming back, some young guys coming up, and another shout out. I got 2 Villa Rica guys on Team Cavan, so give a shout out to those guys in that defensive backfield at Villa Rica.
Yeah, that was actually a clutch move for Team Cavan in the voting, man. But we'll be back later on this month, next week. Talk 4A, Cedartown, Sonoraville, Heritage, Northwest Whitfield, Southeast Whitfield. We'll get that one dissected. Should be real competitive there too this year. Looking forward to it.
Yes, sir.
All right, guys. Happy Father's Day to you guys as well, and enjoy your afternoons.
All right, man. See you guys.